Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover. Welcome to today's video where I am going to give you a first look at the world's most expensive fishing kayak. Has EJ finally lost his mind? Fish on! So guys, to frame this up, this is a prototype. I've been in the prototype game for a long time, and just so you understand, those of us that are in the industry don't really like showing prototypes because they've got some scratches and some dings and all that. So just realize this is not the polished version, so don't jump in the comments and go, for that kind of money, that thing shouldn't have blah, blah, blah. This is a prototype, but this is by far the best looking prototype of a boat I've ever seen in my life, because most prototypes have Gorilla tape, they have welded spots on them, they have mismatched scupper tubes, they have all kinds of stuff, and most of them sink. At some point, most prototypes inevitably sink, especially with my big in them. So anyway, I'm just gonna turn it over to EJ. EJ, do this, bro.
Let's, hey guys.
Let's give us the best walkthrough you can of the prototype and what people can expect when they ultimately lay their hands on an Apex Watercraft. What's the name of the boat? That's the other thing, right? Okay. Apex is the brand.
All right, the name of the boat is the tier. Let's see this arrow right here. That's the North symbol. It's called a tier, and it stands for victory in competition. But what it means to me, it gives me the inspiration to go the extra distance. So like when I'm about to compete or if I've got some big project or some training thing, whatever, you find myself going like this. I'm like, okay, I'm on, game on, we're going for this. The inspiration to go the extra distance, it's called the tier. All right, so let's start with the concept of the boat. I want a very high performing paddling boat. Now, that means different things to different people, but I paddle all kinds of kayaks. I paddle everything from the Jackson Big Rig, really big and love it, down to the smallest, lightest freestyle kayak. It doesn't matter. When it comes to kayaks, I know how boats are supposed to perform, and I know how I like them to perform. With a fishing kayak, I feel like one of the things missing is the ability, because I like to paddle a boat, and this particular boat is a paddle boat. Yeah, if you put a motor on it, it's gonna go, whoa, it's gonna go unplane. But forgetting that, let's just say you're just paddling it. I want it to be responsive and to accelerate quickly. That is lightweight. I want it to go really shallow. It means low draft and not a lot of crazy stuff in the hull. It's got a really flat planing hull. It has the minimum amount of draft. You'll never be in a kayak that sits lower or higher in the water than this boat. This boat you can paddle in a mud puddle pretty much. I also want the ability to maneuver easily, but sometimes I want the ability to track well. Well, how do you get that in one boat? Well, we made a very maneuverable boat that you can make less maneuverable with carbon fiber fins that weigh like, I don't know, this weighs about as much as 2 hairs on your head, pretty much. It's like super lightweight.
Now, that's super light if it weighs as much as 2 hairs on my head.
Yeah. It's impossible to weigh Chad Hoover's hair on his head. It's like
two hairs on my chin. We'll go with that.
There you go.
Still on my head, technically.
They used to, back before they had digital scales.
They migrated.
Anyway, so performance in the hull is really important to me. And luckily, I had an amazing hull designer. His name is Bob Blair. He's in the ship business. He's also in the stand-up paddleboard business. He understands hulls really well, and so do I. Together, we figured out the best way to attack the problem, and you'll be able to see the hull.
So EJ, before we show everybody the boat, cue the sexy slow motion montage. Okay, now that we whetted your appetite, we're back to EJ for the full walkthrough of the Apex tier.
So now let's take a quick look at the hull, because the hull is obviously the foundation of any kayak. And we talked about maneuverability, responsiveness. Take a look. What we've got here is we've got a concave center, 2 longitudinal runners, the full distance. And look how wide it is all the way to the stern. It's full distance there, which is, of course, what allows you to stay really on top of the water and skim the water. It pretty much is on top of the water. Next, let's just talk about the fact that you have to sit in these things and stand in these things all day. This is the Apex Watercraft custom seat. Check it out. It is, yes, a swivel seat. And it weighs, let's see, not very much. This, of course, is a carbon fiber infused seat.
So how would you explain that, CDJ, if you were going to say what this seat is?
Okay.
Right?
In designing a seat, there's this, let's just say that reinventing the wheel is not a very good idea. People have been making seats for a lot of things for a lot of time. We borrowed from several industries: race cars, fighter jets, tractors, I'm not kidding you, tractors, and my Olympic slalom kayak, which has a carbon fiber bucket seat like this. Instead of a hammock seat that's like a suspension seat in the middle of like an aluminum tubing, this is actually contoured with the right butt shape that fits a wide variety of butt shapes and sizes for massive comfort all day long. It wraps up the side. One of the most annoying things, especially if I'm paddling whitewater in a fishing kayak, if you hit something sideways, you fall off the side of the boat. It's not a good concept. We've got your housed on the sides, so I can run whitewater in this and not fall out of the seat. So for me, that's really important. But of course, fish just jumped. What do? You're like, no, just go wee. You want to fish with your feet off the side? Of course, we could be doing this in a kayak. Then that is, of course, available. And what if you are like an older gentleman or lady and you want to get out of the boat? Well, turn to the side, put your hands here, and then off you go. So there's a variety of reasons we wanted it to be a swivel seat. It's also elevated, it's really high. Now when it comes to standing, this is a 36-inch wide kayak, and it's more stable than the 36-inch wide kayak I'm very familiar with. It's 2 inches narrower, but yet it's more stable. And the reason, again, is because it carries its width for a long distance, and it's an extremely flat planing hull. So stability is there. People, if you've never been comfortable standing, you can actually stand in this boat. Foot braces are simple. These are custom-made foot braces. I can't even tell you how light these things are. Check this out. These are Yak Attack tracks. Chad, hold that.
Yeah, that's nothing. That literally is nothing.
You can.
That's literally nothing.
Your scale wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah, like that's less than like a pack of crackers. It's nothing.
Very exciting. So,
while you're doing that, I want to show everybody that the logo for the boat is actually an inlaid coin, similar to the one that EJ's got around his neck, which is a nice little touch.
Yeah, remember we said this is the tier. This is actually the logo, the tier. That's a titanium tier handmade by Peter Gilroy in Taos, New Mexico. It is actually inlaid in the boat. You cannot feel it. It is flush. Part of the special Apex Watercraft paint job.
So talk about this paint job, because I know by the time we've gotten this far and people have seen the slow-mo montage and they've seen you talking, they're seeing the glitter, they're seeing the shine, they're seeing the carbon fiber. How many different color schemes or paint jobs, or talk to us about how that's going to work? Like what will...
So take a look. So this particular boat, so you can see we got the logo in here. This is black on gold. We got this bright blue. It's like a holographic metal flake. This is the next one I'm making is going to be like army green, and it's going to have the same scheme. Now, what is that scheme? If you stand back from a distance, let's take a look from over here. Come back here. The shape is like a double S. You can see the overall shape of the boat. It comes like this, and then it comes like this, and that paint scheme helps
accentuate it.
Accentuate that it's a double S. That low point in the middle, that's where you pull the big fish in. Whoa! And oh yeah, by the way, that's where you put your paddle. It just goes, you put your paddle here? Don't worry, it ends up right there. That's where your paddle goes. Like, why doesn't your paddle go where it belongs? Well, it does. So you can pick your paint scheme. The design that you're seeing there, that doesn't change. The colors, you get to pick your color. Let's do it this way. If you wanted to pay somebody to duplicate that paint scheme, you're going to be paying upwards of $2,000 to do that paint scheme.
Now, do all the paint schemes, even like the OD green, do they all have glitter? Or can you do like a more of a matte?
They do not have to have glitter.
Okay,
no, the metal flake is not necessary. So this is my race car look, my fast, my bright.
Yep.
So I wanted to show you what that looks like. The next one we're painting is like army green. It's going to be subtle colors, the same scheme. So it's going to be like under the radar, like black on blacks, grays, greens, that type of thing. You basically, you get an Apex Watercraft, you're like, I really like orange. Well, what kind of orange? Well, like, I don't know. We're talking sunrise orange or burnt orange or pumpkin, or and we'll get you the color that you want.
Highway worker orange even?
Yeah, any kind of orange, really. But yeah, that's...
All right, so back to the boat. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so back to the boat. So the seat is about a foot of adjustability, and the same with the foot braces. So you can adjust your trim how you like it. If you like it bow down and tracking more, you go more forward. If you want it to flow to your bow and really maneuver quick, that's how I paddle it on the river, you go seat back a little bit. So you adjust for the trim, actually adjust the performance of the boat quite a bit. And you can also adjust for what you're carrying with you. You'll have full access to the inside of the boat with a hatch here. And the hatch will be attached with magnets, and we have a hatch with magnets, just not on this boat. This is actually prototype number 1, believe it or not. So if you want to shoot through your hull for electronics, you actually mount your transducer inside there. I call this the dashboard. It's set up for a 9-inch screen, so you can actually pull the hatch off and drop a 9-inch screen on there, which is pretty sweet. So right on the dashboard, flush mounted.
Nice.
You can flush mount your electronics on this boat. Pretty cool. But
So
you can
let's do this. We kind of started in the middle.
Okay.
But we've overlooked this interesting looking nose.
Okay,
let's take
so-
it back to the beginning and let's work from bow to stern.
Okay.
Kind of got to rein this guy in. You got to keep him on
Starting
track.
from
So
the
yeah,
beginning, okay.
let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about this nose and this
Okay.
interesting look and design.
All right, so you probably the first thing you're going to notice is what's with this bow. Well, if you know anything about, or if you pay attention to ship design right now, whether it be Navy ships, stand-up paddle boards for offshore or whatever, you have what's called a piercing bow, and you also have it almost a reverse bow. Instead of the bow coming up like this coming up with flare, you've got one that goes through the waves. And then if you're going to go through the waves, you need enough volume here to part the wave off the side before it comes into the boat. So what happens is this boat doesn't get slowed down by the waves. When you're going through waves and chop, it just goes like this. It's unbelievable. You got a wavy day out here in Kentucky Lake or whatever, you just go wee wee. Other people are going rah, 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 and you're like, bye. That's the reason for that. Not to mention it looks super cool.
And if you do take one over the top, it looks like the water's just going to cascade over and actually run right off the back of the boat.
When the water goes over the top, if you've ever taken a wave over the top, which I do a lot in my kayaks for either on whitewater or whatever, the water goes in and then you wait like 5, 6, 7 seconds for them to drain out of the scupper holes. And meanwhile, you're like this. This is instantaneous. It goes in the front and it just shoots straight out the back and it's gone instantly. So like if you wanted to paddle out a surf, you go through a surf break and the water literally just goes wee, it's out the back and you're dry immediately.
So guys, when you're doing prototype testing and you're paddling boats like I've done in the past, one of the criteria that we grade on or that we write up is we write on vacate ability. And what vacate means is when you take water into the hull, how does the water vacate? How does it go out of the scuppers? How does it get out of the boat after it gets in? And this is probably the fastest vacating boat design that I think I've ever seen, because with scuppers, you have to have forward momentum or no water will come out.
Let's just talk about scuppers for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
So in testing prototypes, previously I've been with people, we're testing prototypes and we'll be like, man, this new prototype's super fast. This is way faster than our old boat. And I'm like, this prototype doesn't have scuppers in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't make much difference. Like, yeah. Every scupper is a water brake. Like every scupper slows the boat down a lot. All you got to do is like tape all your scuppers completely shut and you'll be a lot faster. Anyway, point is scuppers slow you down. So in one of the parameters, this boat needed to be designed with no scuppers. Well, how do you vacate?
Well, it has
the boat?
one scupper. It's like the whole cockpit is.
Yeah, no, scupper goes
all the
this
water
way.
just goes to back.
This is an exit out the back. So what else we got? So should demonstrate our rod stagers. Unbelievable. How you hold the rods in here. Now, wait to see this. Let me grab a rod.
He's got his rods and he's back.
Okay, check it out. So obviously, now, That is so weird. The angle of that bow is exactly the same as your rods would sit. That's amazing. Coincidence is crazy. But check this out. You go like this, and you put your rod here, and you put it there, and you bend it there. Now check it out. The rod stays right here, and this finger holds it bent. Now actually, it's not normally going to be your finger. This is actually a cork butt that's right there. You don't see it because I don't have it on the prototype right now because I took it off because we painted the boat. But it holds it bent like that. Now look, follow all the way back. How cool is that?
Nice.
So that's where your rods go. It's super easy. They're out of the way. They're not in the water, so they're above the water. Like so, even if you splash and if this is wet, they're in a dry area. And yes, there's going to be some cork right here. Oh, let's talk about that in a second. There's going to be cork right there to protect your reel so everything's quiet. Do you know that cork is one of the best sound dampening materials you can use? That is one of the reasons why this deck, this standing platform is made of cork. Do you know, if you go, where can you buy decking, cork decking? Pretty much only for like 90+ foot super yachts. Literally, that's their market. 90, like they start at 90 feet and they go up. And the reason for it is they rip their teak decking and put cork. That's like the best stuff you can use. I wanted to use it because it's a natural material, number one. And then number two, it's got good sound dampening qualities.
So literally when EJ told me he was going to put cork decking in the boat, I was like, where are you going to get cork decking for a kayak? He's like, well, I'm going to get cork decking from the yacht industry. I was like, okay, yeah, naturally. Yacht industry, that's where you're going to get corking from.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's lost his mind.
All right, so if you look at these foot braces, they're small, they're out of the way, low profile. They fit a barefoot perfectly. They also fit on your shoes. They're really comfortable with the shoes or barefoot. I like fishing barefoot. So anyway, I wanted to feel really comfortable on your feet. These are extremely well designed ergonomically. They just fit really comfortable. It's not just some random knob that sticks out. What else we got? We told you about the dashboard, the hatch. Yes, there's magnets all around.
So talk about the magnets, because you haven't talked about that yet. Except before we started filming, he was showing me all this magnet stuff. I was like, what? So now he's got to grab something to demonstrate it, because he showed me before we started filming. I'm like, dude, we got to show this to you. We got to show them. We got to show y'all. So he's going to show you guys exactly what he's come up with for mounting tools.
So, tools.
Is that crazy?
Magnet, you can also throw lures as long as they have like treble hooks and steel in them. So place to put your tools, and they'll be marked very specifically with a little paint splash.
Have a little splash like this right here, right?
Yep.
Cool.
You'll also, the hatch is attached closed with magnets, so I can't demonstrate that right there. But we already have one there. You literally just pop it up. No like plastic latches and bungees and all that. Oh, how many bungees are on this boat? 0. God, I hate bungees. Oh, you're a fly fisherman?
How do you feel about bungees, EJ?
I hate bungees.
One more time. How do you feel about bungees?
God. Would you stop talking about bungees, man? I'm gonna punch you in the face. I hate bungees. Okay.
Let's be honest. He can't reach my face. But.
There you go. I would not punch you in the face. I'm just kidding. So this low point, we talked about it. It's for putting your paddle. Hold your paddle there. Oh, by the way, there are magnets there. Making a little sleeve you can put on your paddle. So just hold your paddle in place. So if the wind blows, it doesn't move it out of the way. Very cool. What else have we not talked about? I mean, there's so much more we haven't really talked about if you want to get in a lot of details.
So talk about gear management back here in the back. You know, a lot of guys are going to immediately look at this and go, man, is my black pack or my gear bag or my Apex kit or whatever, is it just going to slide right out the back?
That is a great question. For the gear, there's several things going on right behind you. So first, I want to, number one, give people the opportunity to have the most simple fishing experience with a minimal amount of gear. This is just as a paddle kayak, a couple rods, a tackle bag, and that's it, and a paddle, life jacket, of course. The simple experience, one bag, a paddle, a few rods, and your boat. The bag goes on your back and you walk down to the water. That's what I want to offer somebody. Like in one trip from your car, truck to the water, carry everything. Now, if you are a gearhead and you just want to bring everything in the kitchen sink too, right behind you, my tackle bag, by the way, that we're developing right now, there's magnets here. Hold it will not come off the back. The magnets will hold it in place. We have two tie-down location in the back. We also...
Is that where the bungees are going to go?
No bungees, straps, cam strap if you want. You can strap down like an overnight bag or a crate or whatever. But we're also creating we call it a little dam on the back. Basically an insert that pops up that just completes it. If you're absolutely not going to be taking on water or whatever, you've got an extra rise piece that just gives you a big, protected area. But last but not least, we already have a power pole mount there. It's just a quick glue on. It takes, you could use Super 77. We recommend 5-minute epoxy, pop, 4/4 20 inserts. And that thing weighs, I think, I don't know, like 1/20th of a pound or something stupid. We also will be making...
That's less of an ounce for most of you guys out there.
Yeah, I don't know how many ounces it is. It's just like, it's one of these like, well, it weighs nothing, like what hair on your head. We're also making we'll make it available for those of you who want to power up and you want to like go really fast. Like, by the way, with the max allowable horsepower in a kayak bass fishing tournament, and you want to cover the most water the fastest, this boat does it, by the way.
Nice.
So you put a Torpedo, for example, on this thing and just go like, whee! Just saying.
So guys, one of the things you got to understand about the limitation right now in fishing kayaks in speed is the hull. Kayak hulls are not designed as planing holes, meaning that they break over and they plane. They're designed as displacement holes. And so this is somewhere in the middle. This looks like a planing hole, but it's yet to be determined with where the angler load is and the motor, whether or not it's truly going to plane. But if you know me, I'm going to figure out a way to get it to plane, because one of the things we could do is do an up and back and even get the motor back a little bit. I've got some ideas. Stay tuned for that.
Cool. All right. I think we've covered enough good stuff. Remember, it's lightweight. We're talking the deck and the hull combined is like 27 pounds. Ooh. Put the seat on it. We're sub 35 pounds ready to paddle. And the way it'll work, a couple rods, your paddle, your tackle bag. Now this seat is not currently attached to this prototype. You can see the spot for the tracks. And then, of course, you'll put this in your back, you'll pick it up, and then off you'll go to the river. And that's what
Speaking of off to the river, let's get this thing on the water.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, guys, so I snapped my fingers and switched to my get out on the water uniform. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, or the kayak meets the water. We're gonna grab this thing, head to the water, and this is where we really find out what's oh, it's so heavy, dude. Let me take a break real quick. All right, let's get this thing to the water. Go over here by this little culvert.
I want you to try the thing with the seat and put it sideways, and then put the seat sideways and see how that works. I'm really excited to have somebody try that out.
Bro, I'm just gonna fish like this. You know what I mean?
You got to try fishing like that.
Yeah, I know.
That's old school, but it's old school. It can be done again.
You should probably just start fishing FLW off of this then.
Oh my God, I'd do so much better.
Well, guys, there you have it. The first sneak peek walkthrough of the world's most expensive fishing kayak. And the question is this that next step in the evolution of kayak fishing, fishing kayak design, or has EJ finally lost his mind? Didn't mean to rhyme there, but you know what I'm saying. So tried to twist his arm to let me release the price here. He wouldn't let me do it. So what you guys have to do is go to the link in the description box and check out the Kickstarter campaign. You'll find out more information and another promo video of the boat over there. And then I'm going to hook up with EJ in the coming weeks to give you guys a full walkthrough of a non-production, like a final finished boat. And we're going to go do a tour of the factory over in Rock Island, Tennessee. So hope you guys like this video. Smash that thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on that notification so you'll know each and every time I release a new video.